guys, welcome to my channel Gusty's Plants. So for today's video I am actually going to do an update on all the Hoyas and all the plants that I've mentioned in previous videos. So this will pretty much be showing you guys how my plants are doing, how some of my Hoyas on leca are doing, and how some of my cuttings in cocoa husks are actually doing right now. But before I do my Hoya updates, I'm also going to do some updates on plants that are not really Hoya related. I'm gonna start out the video with my string of hearts seeds and how they managed to grow in sphagnum moss. After recording that video, I put some seeds in soil just to contrast the difference between growing them in sphagnum moss and growing them in soil. And I feel like this is gonna be really helpful for anyone that's growing plants from seeds. You're gonna get two different perspectives on how they do. So the first one I'm gonna show you here is my string of hearts seeds that I put in sphagnum moss in this particular pot. So you can see right here, some of them started to sprout. 3 of them you can see right here on the top are sprouting. One of them is doing amazing. I'm feeling confident taking it out of the sphagnum and putting it in soil because it's doing really nicely. And the other one seems to be wilting and dying off, but I'm gonna give it a little bit more, a few days to see how it does. And then there's another one over here doing it really nicely. So my string of heart seeds are doing okay in sphagnum moss. One of them is flourishing really nicely, and I think that one graduated from sphagnum to its own little nursery pot in a few weeks. I posted on my story on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you should, because I do a lot of updates on my plants. On Instagram Live, I did a story putting the seeds, second batch of seeds from my string of hearts in soil. And I'm using this terracotta pot that's glazed with ceramic. It's a self-watering pot. You can see I put like 20 seeds in here and they're all sprouting really nicely. They do have some kind of like fungi starting at the base, but I'm not sure what that is. But it looks really nice, and I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have like 6 seeds that are already sprouting, and I'm really confident that this will do really good. So I'm really happy with these seeds right here. So I would advise that if you guys are gonna grow plants from seeds, I would 100% recommend putting them in soil in a self-watering pot, because that's what worked for me. I do have a better chance of I do have a better seed growing on sphagnum, but that's because I started sphagnum earlier than I did with the soil. Another plant that's not a Hoya, but it is a spider plant, and I got this in a subscription box that I already canceled. I paused my subscription for 2 months. But this is my spider plant, guys. This is my spider plant, and it's not looking good at all. It's actually looking very yellow. I did mention in the video that this plant was probably gonna die because I don't know how to take care of spider plants. But yeah, you can see right here it has yellow leaves. The tips are burnt, are like browning. So I'm not sure if this needs more humidity, more water. Maybe needs a different kind of soil mix, but it's just not doing good for me. If you have experience growing plants, spider plants, let me know in the comments below, because this plant is really not doing good at all. So yeah. So now let's go into the Hoyas. So I made a video also on my Hoya Matilde, how I was going to put the little seeds, the little cuttings into soil. So here it is, guys. Here's my Hoya Matilde, doing really, really nicely. I'll do close-ups of each plant that I'm talking right here on the side so you guys can look at them. But so this plant is doing really, really nicely. You can see right here, the one that I didn't cut, it's actually growing a new leaves right there in the bottom, and it's actually starting a new vine, and it's doing really, really nicely. It's surprising because it's winter. It's about to be winter here in California, and temperatures are dropping, and so the plant is doing really good with the cold temperature. The leaves are plump. They don't seem thirsty, so they look really, really nicely. I'm gonna pull out this little right here. So this one, you can see has a little bit of roots right there showing. I think it looks really, really nice. However, this one was one cutting that I didn't really, when I planted in the pot, it actually fell off, and it was just like floating on top of the soil. It never really got in the pot, in the soil, if that makes any sense. But it actually grew roots, and I'm really happy with that. The rest of them, I don't want to move them because you can clearly feel that they do have roots, and I don't want to mess them up. Let me see if I could pull this one. No, I'm not gonna pull them out because they do feel like, well, you know what, let me pull this one out. This one right here, you can see how much roots it grew. This other cutting, it grew so much roots, and I feel like I'm really happy with this plant. This plant looks really nice, and I'm really happy that my Hoya Matilde loved being potted up in soil, so I'm really happy with that. And another Hoya I received in the mail was my Hoya Numeris, guys. I was really happy with this plant because it arrived with so many peduncles. It arrived with 5 panicles. After receiving that plant in the mail, I gotta be honest, and it lost one of the panicles, so now it only has 4. And all the little panicles buds fell off. So now I have the Hoya, looks healthy, looks lush and everything, but with only 4 panicles, and no panicles seem to be growing any flowers. So they're just there hanging out. And excuse the mess, guys, I have birds in the house. It feels like I'm in a jungle, like in a bird shop, but that's how it is. My mom loves birds, and we have a ton of birds. We have a cage filled with 22 birds, so that's why you hear the background of birds chirping and dogs barking. It's a whole mess, but this is the neighborhood that I live in, and that's pretty much the environment that I have. Maybe my plants like that environment. That's why they're doing quite nice. But back to this, maybe this Hoya doesn't like the chirping of the birds, that's why he lost the panicles. But I'm really happy with the Hoya anyways. It does have, the leaves look really nice and healthy. The Hoya looks in pretty good condition. I'm just sad that it did lost a panicle, and that all the other panicles that had the little buds showing up dried up. However, the plant seems to be doing good. It has nice roots, and I'm happy with it. The next plant is a Hoya Irena, the Hoya Irena that I grew in coconut husks, and I made a video on this recently. I have it really out in my greenhouse, and it seems to be doing fine. It hasn't grown roots anyways. I could feel that it hasn't grown roots because it feels very wobbly. It has a huge leaf. The plant doesn't seem to be doing bad, but it doesn't seem to be doing fine either. It just seems okay, especially because it's the temperatures are very cold right here in California. It's very cold, and it's better to grow your Hoyas during the summer when it's hot, or during the fall. Right now it's the temperatures are like winter-like, and therefore my Hoyas are not doing the best. This one is not doing good either, and it's not doing bad, it's just doing basic. So I'm hoping that it will do good in the next few weeks, and it will start growing some roots. Yeah, it just looks pretty nice. It doesn't look nasty. The leaves are nice and plump. But I think I'm going to mix a little bit of soil into the cocoa husks, and I have a mixture of them. But yeah, that's about it. And to close up the video, I have 3 Hoyas in leca. The first one I have here, I made a video on this one. This was my Hoya Rotundi Flora. My Hoya Rotundi Flora, guys. And it seems to be doing okay. So yeah, on the video I said that one of the leaves was yellow, and it's still right here. It hasn't really changed in color. And I think this Hoya will drop this leaf eventually. However, the Hoya seems to be doing fine in leca. It doesn't seem to be doing bad either. It just seems to be doing okay. I've been watering this Hoya once a week, and I do use my fish fertilizer from the Alaska fish fertilizer. I mixed a little bit of that with water, and that's how I've been watering this Hoya, and I have it in this terracotta tray. I just water it once a week very lightly, and it seems to be doing fine. Like I said, it doesn't seem to be growing a new tendrils, or the leaves doesn't seem to be wilting or anything. It's just doing fine, nor good nor bad. So we'll see how that goes. Once again, it's winter temperatures here, like the temperatures are dropping, so that's why my Hoyas are not doing the best. Another one that I have in leca is my Hoya Beninito Tania, guys. I'm gonna do a close-up on this one as well. This one seems to be doing the best. Yeah, the leaves are really nice. It did have a large tendril that it actually dried up, but something weird about this Hoya, when I got this Hoya from Studio Jesse James, the pot that it came in, once I took it out of the pot, it had a weird combination of it had sphagnum moss with like charcoal and perlite, tangled up in the roots. And so when I transferred this Hoya into leca, the Hoya did get a little bit shocked with, I guess, the switch from where it was growing to leca. So it did affect the plant lightly, in the sense that the tendril completely dried out. However, it's doing fine now, and the leaves look very plump and shiny and glossy. So I think from here on now the plant will start doing good. It actually started to grow in a little vine right there, if you guys can see it. So I'm really happy with this Hoya, and it seems to be doing fine. We'll see how it grows starting next year, starting summer, when it starts to take off more. And the last plant that I have here, my last Hoya in this video, will be the Hoya Malaflua. This Hoya arrived, you guys cannot even see it all the way through, so I have to scoop back a little bit. You can see how this Hoya, it's very long. So this Hoya arrived for me on an Etsy shop, and it was very little. It actually only had like around 4 or 5 leaves. Ever since I put it in leca, and it's doing really, really nice. I have it in this glazed terracotta pot, and I also use fish fertilizer every time I water it, once a week. And guys, this Hoya, it's growing so vigorously, so nice. And even though it's winter, it's doing fine. It did stop growing for a little bit because now it's getting, you know, cold, but it's doing very, very fine. I look at it at the tip here, it's actually growing new leaves, or a new tendril is starting to continue to grow. Up to close-ups as well. But I'm really happy with my Hoyas in leca. I think they're doing really good. I'm happier with my Hoyas in leca than the ones I have in coconut coir. The ones I have in coconut coir from Unsolicited Plant Talks are doing really nice as well. But overall, I feel like my plants are doing very fine. I really like them. I'm really most excited about my string of hearts. It's actually doing really nice, and I'm gonna be changing this little seed into a little nice small 1-inch nursery pot. So I'm really excited for that. So I just wanted to make this video, guys. I did stop making videos because we had, you know, some family issues going on with, you know, how life is, and I just didn't want to make videos last week because we had an issue with, we had a problem with someone that we very close to our family passed away, and I just didn't feel like I should record a video for YouTube because, you know, he was very special to our family. But anyways, the life continues and you gotta move on, right? And so yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to drink water, water your plants, and fertilize your plants if you can. Also, hold on watering your plants, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because it's getting cold. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to drink tea and eat some cookies. Bye bye.